You know that feeling, right? Maybe wanting to skip certain clothes or just feeling a bit self-conscious about the dimples on your skin.
Yeah, I think a lot of people can relate to that.
We've definitely all been there. So today we're doing a deep dive into something that affects so many of us, but often feels kind of mysterious: cellulite.
Hmm.
It's incredibly common, affects up to, what, 90% of women?
That's the figure, yeah.
Usually shows up as those little depressions or pits, mainly on the glutes and thighs, but really it can be anywhere: hips, abdomen.
Other spots too, absolutely. And what's really fascinating, I think, is just how common it is, yet how many myths and misconceptions are still out there about what actually causes it.
Right. So our mission today in this deep dive is to sort of pull back the curtain. We want to explain why it appears,
Right.
why it's so much more common in women.
And crucially, give you some practical strategies, maybe even some biohacks you can use to reduce it, maybe even reverse its appearance.
And the great thing is, this isn't just about how things look. These strategies often tie into better overall health, too.
It's exactly better health, better skin.
Okay, so let's start with the big one. Most people hear cellulite and immediately think, oh, it's just about being overweight.
That's the default assumption, yeah.
And okay, sure, a higher body fat percentage can increase the risk, but here's where it gets really interesting. It's not just about the fat itself,
No, definitely not.
because we see plenty of women who might be overweight but have hardly any cellulite, right?
Mm. And the flip side, too. Women who aren't overweight at all but still struggle with it.
So its presence, how severe it is, it really depends on several underlying factors. It's not just the number on the scale.
Absolutely. And if you connect that to the bigger picture, it really underlines that tackling cellulite isn't about finding one single fix. It's about understanding these interconnected systems in the body.
Okay, so what's system number one?
The first key factor is microcirculation.
Microcirculation, okay.
Yeah, think of it like the body's highway system. But like for the really tiny roads, the small blood vessels and capillaries reaching deep into the tissue.
And why is that so important for cellulite?
Well, it's essential for healthy fat usage and metabolism. It brings nutrients in, takes waste out. It's the delivery and pickup service for those cells.
So if that tiny highway system isn't working well, things start backing up. Can you tell early on?
That's a great question.
Mm.
Because, yeah, when microcirculation is poor, nutrient delivery slows down, waste removal gets sluggish,
Yeah.
things definitely back up.
Okay.
And that leads us right into the second factor, the lymphatic system.
Ah, the body's garbage disposal. I've heard it called that.
Exactly. That's a good way to put it. Now, if your lymphatic system isn't functioning optimally, it doesn't necessarily make you store more fat,
Okay.
but it does let fluid accumulate in certain areas.
Hmm.
And that accumulated fluid makes existing cellulite look much, much worse.
So puffs things up, essentially.
Kind of. Imagine stepping on a garden hose.
Mhm.
The water flow gets blocked, right?
Yeah.
It backs up. That's sort of what happens with poor lymphatic drainage.
Got it. So we have the microhighways and the garbage disposal. What's holding everything together? What's the structure involved?
Ah, right. That's where collagen, elastin, and the connective tissue itself come into play.
The building blocks.
Pretty much. They form the support structure, like a net, holding the fat underneath the skin in place.
Okay.
If that structure is weak, maybe not enough collagen, or the quality isn't great, you can't hold things tightly and smoothly, that's when you get those characteristic dimples or depressions.
And I guess being overweight would put more strain on that weak net.
Definitely. Extra weight aggravates the situation, puts more pressure on a potentially compromised structure.
This is actually kind of empowering. It sounds like it's not just fate then. We're not totally at the mercy of our biology here.
Not at all.
So where does our control start?
Well, beyond these core biological bits, genetics definitely plays a part. If cellulite runs in your family, you might be more prone. No doubt about it. But, and this is the really good news, your lifestyle choices, your daily habits, even little tricks can significantly lessen the impact.
Like what sort of things?
Well, the source material we looked at pointed out that women who consistently eat an organic diet, who are moving constantly for work, maybe, and even those who tend to wear looser clothing, they often have less cellulite.
Looser clothing. That's interesting.
Yeah. Conversely, think about very tight underwear or maybe tight, long socks. Those can actually restrict blood flow to specific areas.
Ah, hindering that microcirculation we talked about.
Exactly. And it can also impede lymphatic drainage.
Wow. Even fashion choices. You mentioned the sources talked about history, too.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating. Like back in the 1970s, cellulite was apparently much less of a common complaint. Different fashion trends, maybe.
Less tight stuff.
Potentially. and go back even further to the 1950s. And significant cases were apparently even rarer, likely due to different diets back then and probably more generally active lifestyles.
That's not just trivia, is it? It really shows how much our environment and choices matter.
Totally. It reframes it. It's not just an individual aesthetic thing. It's deeply tied to these broader lifestyle shifts over decades. Our daily choices, what we eat, what we wear, they have these profound, sometimes unseen biological impacts.
Okay, so that naturally leads to the gender question. Why women? Why is it so much more prevalent in women?
Right. That raises the big question.
Mm.
Why this biological predisposition? Well, the primary difference lies in the subcutaneous cellular tissue.
That's a layer under the skin.
Yeah, where the subcutaneous fat sits, the fat that affects how we look. And this tissue is just structurally different between men and women.
How so?
For starters, in women, the skin itself in the glutes and thighs tends to be much thinner than in men.
Thinner skin. Okay, so less covering.
In a way, yes, but it's more about the structure underneath. It's like the architectural design is different.
The underlying scaffolding.
Exactly. Studies looking at cadavers actually showed that men have more of these things called tabiques. Think of them like little compartments or walls within the connective tissue.
Okay.
These compartments help organize the fat much better. They keep it contained, making men far less prone to cellulite.
So the fat can't poke through as easily.
Precisely. It means you need a lot more force, basically, to disrupt the smooth appearance of the skin in men compared to women.
Wow.
And that structural difference is a huge reason why you see figures like up to 90% of women having some cellulite, while it's pretty rare in men.
Unless
There are specific hormonal issues going on, like an androgen deficiency, or if they're undergoing certain estrogen treatments, then you might see it.
that structural difference alone is huge, but is there more? Anything happening at like a cellular or chemical level?
Oh, absolutely. This is where adrenergic receptors come in.
Oh, okay, break that down.
So you have two main types. Beta receptors, think B for burn. They help destroy fat, and they also dilate blood vessels.
Good guys, mostly.
For this purpose, yeah. Then you have alpha receptors. They do the opposite. They produce more fat, they constrict blood vessels, and they release sugar into the bloodstream.
Okay, alpha, fat production. Beta, fat burning.
You got it. Now, here's the kicker, the key statistic. In women's thighs,
Mm-hmm.
there are 9 alpha receptors for every 1 beta receptor.
Whoa, 9-1. That is a massive difference.
Huge. It means women's bodies are essentially, well, wired to produce and hold on to fat more readily in those specific areas.
So that explains more than just cellulite then. It's about overall fat distribution too.
Exactly. It's a major biological reason why women naturally tend to carry more body fat than men, particularly in those zones.
Okay, structure, receptors, anything else?
Yes, the hormonal link, particularly estrogen and progesterone.
To sex hormones.
Right, they significantly affect skin appearance. And specifically, high concentrations of estrogen relative to progesterone are considered one of the primary drivers of cellulite.
How does that work?
Well, altered or excessive estrogen levels seem to reduce blood circulation and also hamper collagen production in those affected areas.
And why the glutes and thighs again?
Because those areas just happen to have more estrogen receptors. They're more sensitive to its effects.
It sounds quite predetermined.
From an evolutionary standpoint, it kind of makes sense. Women naturally tend to develop more cellulite and accumulate fat in the glutes and thighs, because historically, that served as an essential energy reserve for pregnancy and lactation.
Okay. If you're listening and feeling a bit discouraged, like it's all stacked against you, please don't. This deep dive is really about empowerment.
Absolutely.
It's understanding these tendencies so we can learn how to work with our bodies, not just fight against them. We've covered the why pretty thoroughly. Now let's get into the how. What can we actually do?
Right. Since cellulite comes from multiple factors that weak connective tissue, fluid buildup, fat deposits, hormones, the approach has to be multi-factor too.
No single magic bullet.
No magic bullet. It's about hitting it from different angles. Boosting collagen, reducing fat, improving circulation, and maybe using some specific biohacks.
Let's start with the basics. Diet and exercise. Where do we begin there?
Well, foundationally, remember the collagen issue. Our sources really stress that women with cellulite often have differences in their connective tissue structure. It comes down to collagen quality and quantity.
So less collagen or poorer quality means more risk, even if you're not overweight.
Exactly. So step 1 is focusing on increasing your body's collagen supply. Think of it this way. If you had perfect super strong collagen, your skin could theoretically handle weight changes much better without dimpling.
Okay, boost collagen. Makes sense. What's next?
The obvious second tool, reducing overall body fat percentage, especially around the thighs and glutes, since more fat clearly increases the risk.
And how do we do that effectively?
Simple dietary approaches mentioned include things like intermittent fasting. The idea is the more overweight you are, perhaps the longer your fasting window might be beneficial. Combining that with a low glycemic diet, cutting down on sugars and refined carbs, and adding high-intensity exercise, that combo can really boost results, especially if you exercise during your fasting window.
And the diet itself. Anything specific to include or avoid?
Definitely focus on foods rich in natural collagen sources.
Mm-hmm.
And try to minimize inflammatory foods. Those can hinder fat usage and contribute to poor circulation, working against you.
What about exercise? We know you can't spot reduce fat, right? Doing a million leg lifts won't just melt fat off your thighs.
Correct. You can't target fat loss like that, but
Yeah.
working the muscles in the affected areas, your glutes, hamstrings, obliques, quads, that does help.
Oh.
It increases blood flow directly to those zones, better circulation, and it boosts your overall metabolism. Plus, stronger muscles underneath can improve the overlying skin's appearance. So it's about stimulating the area and improving muscle tone.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, you mentioned hormones earlier, specifically estrogen.
Yes, estrogen dominance. This is a really significant piece of the puzzle, in my view.
Define that again for us.
It's basically when a woman has higher than ideal levels of certain types of estrogen in specific tissues. And these particular estrogens actively tell the body to generate fat, especially in the glutes and thighs.
The classic pear shape.
Exactly. And this whole issue seems to have gotten worse in recent decades, likely due to environmental factors, exposure to endocrine disruptors.
Okay, so that's a big one. What can we actually do about potential estrogen dominance?
Some key advice that came up.
Yeah.
Number one, try to eat organic food as much as possible. This limits your exposure to hormone-disrupting pesticides and chemicals.
Right.
Number two, actively avoid plastics in food storage and preparation,
Yeah.
especially BPA. Heat and plastic are a bad combo.
Okay, ditch the plastic containers.
And number three, significantly increase your intake of cruciferous vegetables.
Like broccoli.
Broccoli, cauliflower, kale, and especially cabbage. These veggies contain compounds that help your body methylate estrogen, basically, process it, and guide it down healthier metabolic pathways, normalizing levels.
Interesting. Eat your cabbage.
Pretty much.
All right, so those are big foundational shifts: diet, exercise, managing estrogen. What about more targeted things? Stuff you can apply directly or take as a supplement?
Yeah, there are definitely options there. One highlighted was topical vitamin A retinoids, basically.
Like in skincare.
Exactly. Applied to the skin consistently over the long term, vitamin A can really work wonders. It stimulates new blood vessel growth.
Improves that microcirculation.
Yes, it helps synthesize new connective tissue, boosts collagen production, and get this, it even decreases the enzymes that break down your existing collagen.
Wow, that's hitting multiple targets.
It really is. Profound benefits for cellulite. And many creams combine vitamin A with potent herbal extracts,
What kind of extracts?
things known for antioxidant or circulation-boosting effects. Green tea is common, ginger, lemon extract, things like that.
Do they work?
Well, one study mentioned used a cream with black pepper, orange peel, and ginger root extract. It showed a really impressive 63% improvement in cellulite appearance.
63%.
Yeah. And nearly a 2-centimeter reduction in thigh circumference. It really shows the potential power of these plant-based compounds when applied topically.
Okay, and the famous one, caffeine. Everyone talks about caffeine creams. How does that fit in?
Caffeine, when it's in the cream and applied to the skin, is effective because it blocks those alpha receptors.
The fat-producing ones.
Exactly. It helps put the brakes on fat production right there in the tissue. But again, this is topical caffeine, not drinking loads of coffee. That's different.
Right. Important distinction. Any supplements worth mentioning?
Conjugated linoleic acid, or CLA.
CLA. Okay.
Studies suggest it has a beneficial effect. It seems to help prevent fat from accumulating inside the fat cells themselves, and it might reduce how much those fat cells push or invaginate into the skin layer, which improves the overall appearance.
Okay, interesting. So we've got lifestyle foundations, topical supplements. What if someone wants to level up or they feel like they've plateaued with those approaches? Let's talk biohacking and more advanced tools.
Okay, stepping it up. We can start with mechanical things, like deep massages.
Does that really work?
It can definitely help. Good, deep massage improves lymphatic drainage, Helps clear out that excess interstitial fluid we talked about.
The stuff that makes it look worse.
Exactly. And some evidence suggests consistent massage might even stimulate collagen production and fibroblasts over time. But consistency is absolutely key. You need to do it regularly for months to see real structural benefits.
Yeah, not a one-off fix. Okay, what about tech? Lasers?
Yes, laser therapies. These have become quite sophisticated. Certain types of lasers are shown to increase collagen production, boost microcirculation,
Hitting those key factors again.
and significantly improves cellulite appearance. The most effective tech seems to use a specific wavelength, 1440 nanometers.
Okay.
And some studies show combining low-intensity laser with vibration therapy is particularly good for tackling both localized fat and cellulite. Results can last a decent while, too, like at least 6 months.
That sounds promising.
But it's really important to frame these tools correctly. They are there to potentiate, to boost the results you're getting from changing your habits. They accelerate things, enhance things. They don't replace the foundational work.
Good point. Amplify, don't replace. You mentioned vibration therapy. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, vibration platforms, they're fascinating. They've been shown to help reduce cellulite, increase lymphatic drainage, even improve muscle strength and circulation.
How does just standing on a vibrating plate do all that?
Well, the whole body vibration causes your tissues, muscles, connective tissue, to contract and relax rapidly in response to the changing forces. It's like a micro workout for everything.
Huh.
It's apparently so effective that NASA uses it to help astronauts combat muscle and bone loss in zero gravity.
Wow, okay.
But again, like lasers, you'll likely see the best results when you combine vibration therapy with other tools and lifestyle changes.
Makes sense. Any other wave-based therapies?
Yep, there's also ultrasound and acoustic wave therapies. These use sound waves to generate pressure deep in the subcutaneous tissue.
And that does.
It helps promote lipolysis, the breakdown of fat, and also stimulates collagen production. So similar goals, different technology.
Right. And finally, what about things like injections, mesotherapy?
Yes, injectable treatments like mesotherapy are another route. It's generally considered an effective method for reducing cellulite.
Right.
But the science is still evolving on exactly which combination of injectable substances works best. There isn't a universal consensus yet, so it's still an area of active research and refinement.
Okay, so lots of tools in the toolbox, from foundational to advanced.
Definitely. So just to kind of wrap up the core message from our deep dive, cellulite shows up mainly because of weakened connective tissue, right? And that situation is often made worse by excess fat pushing against it.
The really empowering part.
Exactly. The empowering news is that we can make a difference. We can reduce it, maybe even reverse it, by actively strengthening that connective tissue, boosting blood flow, burning excess fat, addressing potential estrogen imbalances, and adopting all those beneficial habits we talked about. Remember, knowledge is great, but it's most valuable when you actually understand it and then apply it. And this deep dive, I think, really shows there are so many levers we can pull.
Totally agree. And you definitely don't need to feel overwhelmed and try to do everything at once.
Please don't.
Start with what feels easiest for you. Maybe it's adding more cabbage. Maybe it's trying intermittent fasting. Maybe it's just walking more. Pick something sustainable.
Find your entry point.
Exactly. And the real beauty here is that as you work on these underlying factors, you're not just potentially improving how cellulite looks.
You're almost certainly boosting your overall health and well-being at the same time. Better circulation, better hormone balance, less inflammation. It all connects.
It really does. Okay, so as you, our listener, reflect on everything we've unpacked in this deep dive, here's a final thought to consider. How might really understanding your body's intricate systems, everything from microcirculation and lymph flow to collagen and hormones, how might that understanding shift your approach? Not just towards cellulite, perhaps, but towards your overall health, your confidence, and just how you feel moving through the world.